I drink till the night becomes another day, and the day's just another little thing in our way. There's something about the way you beat me down that I'll never learn. You're the pint of no return, the pain in my chest, the stain on your dress, the glass in my eye. But this life is a joke, and death is the punch. I
Mothers of Mayhem! Beep beep, kids. Beepity
Beepity beep.
beep beep beep. Welcome to episode 4 of Mothers of Mayhem, an extreme horror podcast. You stoops. You weirdos just keep coming back here, and I'm so confused. What
Confusion.
what is wrong with these people?
They're just
Why-
like, we don't have anything else to do. Listen, these crazy ass women.
Why does this keep happening? They keep making us they actually enjoy this, and now we have to actually keep doing this thing.
They're like stoking the fire of crazy. It's constant. Like,
We
oh,
are
you guys
being
funny.
enabled.
They're like, you're so funny, and we're like, oh, you think this is funny? Wait till you see the next one. Bunch of dum-dums.
Yeah. Ding dongs. We love you. We don't mean to be insulting our audience. We actually really, really love you. Thank you.
I mean, they really like us.
I know.
And we don't, and our parents don't even have to pay them. That's the great part about it.
Can you believe it?
Can
you believe it?
I was never the popular kid.
Me neither.
I sat
I
with the
always wanted
lesbians.
to be the popular. I was a band and drama kid. I was
even
the
dated a
drama
football
club
player.
president.
Oh. I got
Yeah,
a bad
no,
connection. I'm going through a tunnel. Well, children, with every episode, we need to do the warnings, the trigger warnings, the content warnings, and spoilers. We will probably do spoilers today because there are some things that I need to talk to our guest about. And I think Marian has a word or two to say to our lovely guest today.
I do. I have feelings.
She's got feelings, and I have unearthed some fascinating relics, if you will.
Blackmail material.
Not so much blackmail, but like he probably didn't think that I could punch in like 5 words, and it just popped up.
He probably didn't think I was capable of typing 5 words.
I'm a woman, so the bar is set pretty low most of the time. But we will be talking about things like the Holocaust, rape, things like that. So it's definitely a trigger warning type of episode this time.
Yeah. Last time we talked about horse sex.
Yeah, that is true.
And this time we are going to talk about the Holocaust because we have range. We have amazing range. My son has invaded, and you need GTFO. All
There
right.
is a pandemic, child. A
Yes.
pandemic.
We're in the middle of a pandemonium. Get out.
It's pandelirium, people.
And a plutonium. You need to leave me
Explode.
alone.
That's what we try to say.
We're in the middle of a panoramic. I need some space.
All right,
I feel
sweetie.
like this episode's already off the rails, quite
I love it.
honestly.
It is perfect because
Like we are walking right up to the line of funny, but not quite getting there.
know what?
So
Again, this is our podcast. If we want to be like at 75% funny, that's what they're gonna get. And
That's
you
right.
be happy that you get 75.
that's right.
You know?
It's our podcast. That is our mantra. It's our podcast. You can
right,
go fuck
like-
yourself.
Right? And my mother doesn't even listen to the podcast. So,
I don't blame her. I wouldn't listen
Yeah.
to this shit either.
I think she's like disowned me quietly. I think she's like, you know what? I don't know about this child. I don't know about her. So
I was at my parents' last weekend.
Mhm.
And my mom asked me how the podcast was going, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's great. We're having such a good time." She was like, "I will have to listen to it." And I was like, "No,
Mm-mm.
no,
Mm-mm.
no, it's not. It's not for you."
Yeah. Yeah.
And my
It's
sister was like, "No, it's not for you." So the grandmothers of mayhem, uh, they're not allowed to listen to this
Right.
show. God
So what
damn
have you
it!
been
Another
reading?
kid. We have so
I
many
know.
kids. Why
Ugh.
did we do this?
They're like herpes. They just keep popping up.
Oh my God!
And at the most inconvenient times.
Oh, I know. Oh, they're so
What
cute.
What are you reading? What are you checking out?
Oh, okay. So I'm still working my way through Battered Broken Bodies, which is the Matt Shaw body horror compilation with an amazing list of authors. I am also working my way through Welcome to the Splatter Club.
Oh.
Welcome to the Splatter Club 3 from Bloodbound Books, compiled by S.D. Mendez, a fantastic and a marvelous dear friend of our show. Co-host of Horror Business with Lucy Leitner, and just an all-around amazing publisher and author. Lucas Mill Iron's Meth Gator gave me absolute fucking life. I am loving this anthology. Yeah.
And it's volume 2. They've only got 2 volumes.
Oh, volume 2. Oh my God. Well, I'm already looking forward to the third one. Just so you know. I don't know about you, but there's a third one already, and I'm the only one who has the art. So
you do. You're the only one who even knows about it. Like
because I transcend the boundaries of space and time. So y'all don't know yet, but I'm already living in the future. I finally finished Ooze Head by Tim Friesenhahn. I do have a TikTok review ready to go for that, but I have been shadow banned because I'm Nordy. And TikTok was like, "Okay, we've had it. You're not allowed to say those things on our platform." And I was like, "Fuck you." And they were like, "Okay, well now nobody's going to see your videos." And I was like, "Fuck you."
And then they're like, no,
so I have a TikTok review, but I haven't been able to post it yet because they won't let anybody see my shit. But my big thing for this week was Piece by Piece by Demon Manx.
Oh,
I did film a TikTok and post that. Oh my God. You know, I would classify it's a good topic for us to go on to because we have a filthy heart murderer with us today that we're going to spend time with. But Piece by Piece, which is available on godless.com, it is a 2-story collection, and I cannot recommend it enough. Christina was like, "Have you read this yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." She was like, "Well, you have to." And I was like, "Okay." And then I did, and then wow.
When it all clicks, you're just like, what the fuck has this man done to me?
It's so good. As soon as I closed the book, I went to Facebook. I found him. I messaged him. I was like, "Oh my God, this book."
Yeah.
I was gobsmacked.
Yeah, I was not prepared. Like, he had talked about how it wasn't really extreme horror, but I mean, there are horror elements to it. It's just not your like traditional idea of horror, which is an interesting and something that we'll definitely get into at a later episode is, you know, weirdness and the ideas of horror.
Oh, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. If you have a chance to get it, it's only like 50 cents on Godless digital download. This is mom approved, mom stamped and sealed for approval. We thoroughly recommend. What did you read this week, my buddy?
Girl, you know, I'm always
everything.
About that reading.
She's always 10 books ahead of me.
I don't know how I do it, but I actually just finished one last night called Your English is Good. by Colt Skinner. He was the one that won the contest between it's a merge with Godless and D&T Publishing.
Yeah.
I was how he and I haven't done any research on him, so bear with me. Poor Colt, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if this is his first publishing, but if this is like his debut into the world of indie horror, what the fuck are we gonna get next time? Because this was phenomenal. Like, here's what I'm gonna say, and this is all I'm gonna say about it, because I'm gonna do a full write-up review later. But Lovecraftian vaginas, that's all you get.
So you mean they're
Mic drop.
vaginas? They're vaginas, but they're racists.
I love Lovecraft. So I can't say anything. I love Lovecraft.
We don't use that word anymore, Christina. Now they're eldritch.
No, that's Lovecraft. It's Lovecraft. But it's very. It comes out, I believe, on the 11th, so after the podcast. But it is. You better get prepared, because this is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And then our boy Ash Eric Moore, or what is it? Smash Ass.
Oh, smash ass face Eric's.
Yes. I read or I listened to
My best boy, my bestest boy,
BFF.
smash ass face Eric's.
Or as the plebs who like to call him, Ash Eric Moore.
Nerds.
Right. I read Sick Fucks 2, Sloppy Seconds, or I listened to it. And Alex, who is the private dick, gets into these odd situations, and it's everything that we love about Ash. But I was laughing. I was cackling like a crazy person. And I told my husband the name of the book, and he just looked at me like I was completely insane. Like I had lost my ever-loving mind. And I was like, you wouldn't get it.
You're not cool enough to understand.
Yeah. You just
loser.
You are telling me that I am a loser?
kids.
Ugh, my God. Well, you know what? Today we are talking to a filthy heart murderer.
Disgusting.
We will be spending time with prolific author, co-host of the Written in Red podcast, and human man person who likes to make me cry, Daniel J. Volpe.
I'm so excited about
who
this.
said it was okay to bring this man's on this show?
I think you did. I think this was you.
What the?
Because I think I got to.
Was I like intoxicated?
I don't think you. I don't think you had read Left to You yet when we booked him.
Oh yeah, I was all like Talia, Billy Silver, man.
Awakening Blood.
Yeah,
and then all of a
so
sudden
good.
you're like, I've made a huge mistake.
Why didn't we cancel this?
Because it's Daniel Volpe. That's why. Like,
honestly, we love Volpe. We absolutely adore Volpe.
Can look for fart's sake.
Oh yeah, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see behind Christina's left shoulder there, stage right. We have the Gift of Death poster.
Yeah, it's like a canvas. Like it's really nice. And you just have to contact him and he'll be like, yeah, I'll get you one. And then you pay him and he sends it to you. So
Volpe has had an extraordinary rise this year. He put out so many books and he has seen incredible success. He is truly talented. We do love him. We joke around with him a lot because he lets us.
Which is just the word.
But honestly, we do feel very blessed to have Daniel with us today. Because as we have spoken before on earlier episodes, this is one of our current indie authors who both Christina and I could see very quickly vaulting into the mainstream horror community within the next few years. So we are like I said, very, very happy to have him with us here today before he becomes too cool for us.
Yeah. And then he's like, fuck you guys.
You stupid indie kids.
God, you guys
So
are
for
so
me
embarrassing.
personally, I have some very particular Volpe favorites. I would have to say that my most favorite books from Daniel Volpe are Billy Silver and Talia. I lump Billy Silver in there because Billy Silver was one of the first times we ever met the character Talia, who he then followed up with her own standalone story. Talia is one of my all-time favorite characters.
You want me to tell you a secret?
Yeah.
You should probably read the last story in Splatterpunk. Welcome to the Splatterpunk.
I'm getting there. I know she's in there and I'm getting there. Slowly but surely.
It's like she's, you're stopping by and having a gin and tonic with an old friend. That's what it feels.
I just love her so much as a character, and she walks through absolute hellfire as part of her character development, which I think is what I love the most about her.
Mm-hmm.
And
bear with me, listeners. I'm getting a kid ready.
The powerful, just like absolute force to be reckoned with that she transforms into. I just love this character. I know you were trying to dress a child, but
I can do two things at once.
So sorry, which was Daniel's collaboration with Aaron Beauregard, which dropped just this past October. Starts with a crazy story. I don't know if you know this. That story is based on a real life thing that happened just outside of Shamokin, Pennsylvania, in a township called Mount Carmel. I was born in Shamokin, Pennsylvania. I had no idea, but that is a real thing that actually happened. A real thing that actually happened. We're not going to spoil it for you in case you haven't read. So sorry, but y'all, you definitely need to.
That I had no idea.
Is that not fucking wild?
That's insane.
Oh my God. So real quick, this involves a woman who despises the homeless and needy, who has a very bad accident while trying to steal clothes out of a clothing donation box.
Trying to be one of the cool
and that's
kids
all I'm gonna say. It gets bad. It's bad news bears. This is absolute bad news bear.
It is hilarious and gory. It's really good.
Oh yeah, it's wild. It's fucking wild.
These people are probably gonna be like, "What the fuck, Christina?" And it's like, I've got kids.
This is why we're called Mothers of Mayhem. God damn it! You thought the mayhem was the books? You're wrong. The mayhem is our fucking lives.
Right?
This is why it's why we take psychotropic medications. Don't judge. Move along.
Right? So I actually am going to go with and I mean, obviously I love like Talia. I will say I have not read Left to You. It's the only one I know. It's the only one I haven't read. I tried to fit it in and it's just, it didn't work. Come on. And so I know. But believe it or not, that's the only one I haven't read of his, including his short stories.
Yeah, you know what? I have to be honest. I've read everything that Daniel has done, including anthologies, except Gift of Death and Awakened in Blood. I haven't read them.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad. So bad.
Well, see, I'm not a vampire story person.
This is so good though.
So good. One recent book that got me that I didn't expect to be interested in was Knuckleballed by Drew Stepik, which was like, surprise, vampires. And at first I was like, and then I was like, hey, So I do have Gift of Death and Awakened in Blood
Yeah.
in my TBR pile, but I haven't gotten to them yet. Now, the fact that you haven't read Left to You is really, really shocking to me because this
I
is
know.
the book. This is the new Stolen Tongues on the Books of Horror
It is.
Facebook group. So everybody's going wild for it because it is brilliant. It is.
I was actually going to talk
written.
about
It is
how
an amazing book. But Christina is normally like 20 steps ahead of everybody. So the fact that you're not on this one really is wild.
Isn't it
to
crazy?
me.
I have let everyone that loves me down.
Here's the even wilder thing, my friends. Christina worked with Daniel to send me an autographed copy of Left to You, which was the copy that I ended up reading, and she herself has not yet read it yet.
But I have all of his books and they're all signed. So
he better hope that the hype is real, because by the time you get to it, you're gonna be like, excuse me, but wasn't this book supposed to be amazing?
it's Volpe. I'm not worried about it. But I actually we will talk more when we get him on. I found one of his first published story. I found that on Smashwords. And
What? Of
Yeah.
all places, it's on Smashwords. Is it
it's on
erotica?
Smashwords. No, it's a short story collection. Your shoes are on the wrong feet.
Yeah,
Yes,
people.
and
Yeah, listeners.
yeah,
You need
your
to take
shoes
a
are on the
look
wrong
down.
feet.
Look
Damn
at your
it.
feet, because your shoes are on the wrong feet.
And I need somebody to say, "Oh my God, she was right." But yes, I found it was from 2012, and I found it because I put in 5 words.
Wait.
I know, and I only got to read the first story because that was actually his first published story, and we'll talk to him about that here in just a little bit.
Yes. So, my darlings, we're going to let Christina go and get her tiny baby girl off to school. And when we come back, we will have a filthy heart murderer in our midst.
Filthy.
See you in a few minutes. Hey, all right. So, welcome back, friends, people. If you are watching us on YouTube, you will notice that we have a third person with us at this point. And I think it's just fair warning that you all know that this human being is a filthy heart murderer and has caused me much pain and distress over the last few months. Daniel J Volpe, welcome to Mothers of Mayhem.
Whoop,
Oh
whoop.
my goodness. I am very excited to be here. Thank you very much for having me. And I will continue the heart murdering into the future.
Oh, thanks.
And here we're going to start out with a little story that actually just happened. Maybe 30 minutes ago. I had to immediately call Marian. So I'm dropping my 5-year-old daughter off at school, and I'm telling her teachers that she's starting a new medication, yada, yada, yada. And she looks at her teachers and goes, "Mommy talks to a murderer."
It's true.
And the teacher looked at me and said, "What?" And I go, "She meant to say filthy heart murderer. I don't talk to murderers."
Because that makes it better.
Yes. So I think I'm going to get a little bit of a reputation at her school now. So thank you.
Well, I will tell you this, that statistically, you probably have talked to a murderer at least once in your life.
I have.
Yeah.
I actually have talked to a few, but that's a whole different podcast. And no, Christina is an upstanding citizen now.
Yeah.
I work in mental health.
Yeah.
Daniel, I have an amazing story to tell you sometime about somebody that I worked with who started his crime spree where I live and actually ended his crime spree by getting caught where you live.
Where I live?
Another one about a lady who started her crime spree where you live and then came to where I live and walked into my emergency and was like, I just killed my mom with an ice pick.
Wholesome.
I'll tell you guys all about it sometime, but not on the podcast.
No.
The behind the scenes of the podcast.
Yeah.
Green room
You have
stuff.
to subscribe to our Patreon.
Right.
Well, Daniel,
Yes.
would you like to take a little bit of time to introduce yourself to the people for those who may have been living under a rock for the last year and not know who you are?
Sure. I am Daniel J Volpe. I am author of extreme horror and splatterpunk and heart-murdering horror fiction. I have 6 books out right now, 5 of which are solo, and the 6th one is a combination project I did with Aaron Beauregard. I am also a host on my own podcast, the Written in Red podcast, which is myself, Aaron, Carver Pike, and Roland Bursey Jr., and we go on YouTube and we just pretty much talk shit to each other. Actually, it's mostly me talking shit to them.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very mean. I have a persona where I seem nice, but I'm not. Very, very mean. And I think I've made Carver cry. I think I made him cry today through our text.
Aw.
So he's fragile. He's like a little flower, but I love him dearly. Yeah, I've been writing my entire life, and last year I published my first novella, Billy Silver, and it's just kind of taken off from there. And coming up in 2022, I have 4 planned releases and possibly a 5th one that'll be out. And my first new book of 2022 will be out in March from D&T Publishing, and that is the long-awaited book, Only Psychos. So that will be coming out
so
soon.
Excited.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Very excited. And congratulations on signing with D&T.
Thank you.
Super
That's exciting.
rad.
And signing with Death Head Press.
Yeah,
Death's
and
Head
with
Press.
Death's Head.
Yes, I have a project that's coming out in, I believe it should be May now. There were some things with Death's Head that got some business stuff they had to move around. So in May, I will have a book coming out with another author, and that'll be coming out from Death's Head.
Are you not allowed to say who that other author is?
I don't know if I'm
Not
allowed to. I
to.
don't think he would care, but I would rather find out. I'll tell you too when we're not recording, but it will be. I think you guys will really, really like it.
Awesome. We love.
We like, yes, secrets.
Yeah.
We like
tell your moms all your secrets.
Right. This is a safe space. This is a safe space, friends.
100% safe. Safe space. Well, we're gonna hit you with some questions, okay?
Fire away.
Are you ready? Christina, do you want to go first? You go first, baby.
All right, I will go first. So I have listened to the podcasts,
Yeah.
and you have told, it's even in the back of your books, about how your grandfather rented you The Nightmare on Elm Street, and that's kind of what started you into the love of horror. Do you have a book that started that and gave that same feeling?
I have to say, my first really adult, we'll call it an adult book that I read was The Relic. I think that was Lincoln and Child. I've read that in 5th grade, and I don't even know how I got it, because it's 500 or 600 pages.
Yeah.
And I picked that one up, and I flew through it, and I liked it. And that's when the movie had come out. So my dad took me to see the movie, which really wasn't too great. And then, Stephen King's always been a big influence. So Night Shift was probably one of the first ones of his that I read, which is a bunch of short stories, which is excellent.
Yeah.
And Misery, I think Misery was an early one, and The Dark Half. I remember reading those very young. But I'd have to say the first adult horror book that I read was probably the Relic.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, and it was pretty. I actually still remember to this day. It was pretty much it was some kind of creature that got transported from the Amazon rainforest to the Museum of Natural History, and it was just eating motherfuckers all over the museum.
Oh
And,
wow.
Yeah.
So it's like
And it-
Night at the Museum for adults.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is, with
Yes.
more carnage.
Lots more carnage. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I was always reading Goosebumps and some R.L. Stein. Like I think he had a Fear Street and some of those like
Oh my God, yeah.
teenage kind of books. But I've been a fairly advanced reader. So once I was probably 10 or 11, I started reading more adult kind of books.
I did as well. I was like 8 or 9 years old when I stole Ghost Story, Peter Straub's Ghost Story, off my
Yeah.
grandmother's bookshelf.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, what is this? It looks magical.
Right.
I
I was reading about serial killers at about 12. So
Hell yeah.
so
Now,
yeah.
this is not actually the question that I had down, but you said that you've been writing your entire life. Have you always primarily written horror, or had you experimented with other genres before finally kind of settling into horror as your niche?
I actually have 2 steampunk novels completely written and done, and about 2 fantasy novels and like 3 fantasy novels that are partial. I love fantasy, science fiction. Like I'm a big sci-fi fantasy nerd. Like my bookshelf is full of D&D books and Warhammer books. And my first attempt at writing a long piece, like my first book, I guess you'd say, I was probably 12, and it was a fantasy story.
Oh, wow.
And so I love all that stuff. I actually have some genre hopping ideas I'm going to do, but I don't think I would publish it under my own name if I'm going to do another genre, just because I want this name reserved for the heart murder and filth.
Right. So
my true nature.
right. So kind of piggybacking off of that, have you thought about like graphic novels? Because for some odd reason, I see a lot of what you write translating extremely well to graphic novels.
If I had an artist that would be willing to work with me, I would definitely be down to do it. But I have zero, like negative amount of artistic talent. Like I can't draw. Writing is about it. So if there was an artist that read my stuff and was like, "Hey, I really like this. I'd like to, illustrate some of it," I would definitely be for it. But it's not something that I'm actively seeking out right now.
Left to you would be an absolutely incredible graphic novel.
Yeah. Did you ever read Mouse? I remember reading Mouse in
Yes.
like middle school, and I kind of thought of that. If it was me a graphic novel, something like that. Obviously, those are animals and not people, but the portrayal would be similar.
Mhm.
Yes. It also Netflix, HBO, if you're listening, I think it also would be.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Limited series.
Yeah.
It absolutely would, because it has all of the great key elements that you need, for a Flanagan style limited series.
Right.
It would just be fantastic.
See,
It
I
would be
was
better
thinking
than
of-
Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
You guys need to start tweeting Mike Flanagan directly and being like, "Yo, man, you're missing out."
Right. See, I was thinking more like Talia. I thought that like her story would be phenomenal as a graphic novel because it's
Talia.
gory and
Yeah.
I'm thinking like the preacher and kind of things like that, and I'm like that
Yeah.
style would be phenomenal.
Like a Sin City kind of gritty noir. Kind of,
Yes.
yeah.
So now we've got your wheels going. That's what I
Well,
wanted.
my wheels never stop, but I don't need any more hamsters on this wheel. They're all going to crash into each other.
Right.
Well, I'm glad you guys brought up Talia. Talia is my absolute favorite character that you have
Thank
written.
you.
I
Yeah.
love her. And I know you hear that a lot.
Right.
There's just something very special about her as just this character that exists. She's just I don't know what it is, but
She's
really
strong yet
roll with
flawed.
that one. She has become such a pivotal character since Billy Silver. I mean, she got her own origin story. She has a surprise appearance in your short story at the end of Welcome to the Splatter Club, Volume 2. Where did the inspiration for her come from?
Honestly, I've actually have another story with her in it where I think that is the first one. I did a story called Sorry, What You're Looking For Cannot Be Found. I don't even know where it is. Like, I don't know if it's any collections. It was supposed to be done as an audio. Actually, no, it was in one of the Sirens Calls e-zines. And I published that story with them. And I had it up for audio, and I got paid for the audio version, and they never produced it. And in that one, it's similar. I don't know what it was about that name Talia that kind of stuck with me, but when I hear that name, I picture her, you know, with that dark hair and those dark eyes and like the pale skin, and just kind of this, you know, kind of venging creature. And that story, I won't ruin it in case I do ever put it back out, but or you could probably find it on Siren's Call. I think that was the first story I had with her. And with Billy Silver, it was the same way. Like, I kind of wanted a woman that was kind of like a temptress, because obviously that's what her role kind of in that is she draws him in. And you notice in Talia and a few of my other books, I always love that what does the spider say? It's like, welcome to my parlor, or welcome to my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Yes. And I love that. And that's how I kind of think of her. I think of her as like a spider, and everybody is a fucking fly. And if she wants you, she's going to get you. And she just kind of has grown.
She have you, knowing that there is more Talia content out there, sets my wheels spinning. Have you ever considered putting out a collection, like physical hard copy collection of all of the stories in which Talia is featured, because she is very much a strong fan favorite?
So I do have some continuation for her, and I don't know if I think I've said it before. I have at least one sequel, if not a trilogy planned, novella length stories at least. And the goal is eventually, when her story is done and it ends, which I have a definitive ending for it, I would like to do like a giant collection of all 3 books, all the stories, and just like a big old, 150,000 word chunk of literature, and just put it out there and just call it like the definitive Talia collection or whatever, and just put that out in the world. But
when that happens, I might be willing to forgive you for the heart murder.
Okay, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like book 2. Book 2 is gonna be it's gonna be very violent. I can tell you that.
It'll take away all the sadness in your heart.
Yeah, I almost want Talia to be like my Jason Voorhees character, where the Talia books, you're going to be able to sit down and read them, and you're not going to really have to stretch your brain. It's just going to be good old, violence and sex, and a nice little story to wrap it all up, and you'll enjoy it. You'll be complete. You'll have fun, I hope, and go about your day.
What a dream!
I know. We're like. Right. And, knowing that it's coming is going to keep that anticipation for your readers.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to start writing it. It should be soon. I should be getting there soon.
Yeah.
I know. So
I write quickly. You forget. I write fast. I'm buying these books out in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Do it.
it doesn't even need to be edited. Just send it out into the world.
Yeah. No, I don't care if anybody else gets it. Just put something down on the paper and email it to me. We're good. Well, since we're talking about Talia, revenge is a very powerful and consistent theme in your work, and which I think is a big reason that I've loved everything that you've written that I've read, because revenge is just one of those themes that I really, really dig. But I'm more curious to know where does that come from for you? like I understand my own personal reasons behind why I like revenge stories so much. Being a very nice, light, lively, bubbly, nice person, I don't like conflict. So those stories tend to provide me some catharsis. Where does that come from within you?
I think revenge stories are so intriguing for me because you can do whatever you want to your main character. You can beat the hell out of them in that first half, and you can really tune them up and make things really, really bad for them because you know that in the second half that's their time to shine. So I feel like I can really get away with a lot in the beginning, and I can put them through their paces, and then in that second half, I can be like, all right, now you're free. Go fuck shit up. It's your turn. Get after it, have fun. And I grew up with movies like that. Like one of my favorite movies is Tombstone, and I fucking love Tombstone. And the scene on the train platform,
yes,
where Wyatt Earp puts his spur in the guy's mouth and he fucking rips his face out and he tells him, you tell him I'm coming and hell's coming with me. Yes. That's in Talia. That's the opening quote in the beginning of the book. Yes. And I've always liked revenge movies, and revenge stories. So that's kind of, I like to read it. I like to watch it. So that's what I'll write.
I really appreciate it because there is a sense of justice in a lot of your stories. And I think the trend with horror is that we don't get a lot of justice or happy endings because part of horror is having to come to terms with the fact that life is not fair, the universe is not kind, bad things happen to good people all the time. So having an opportunity to read these incredibly well-crafted horror stories where all of these horrible things happen, but to still have the enjoyment of actually seeing bad people get what they deserve.
Yeah.
It's just such a great experience because, like I said, a lot of horror, it just kind of ends with, ha ha ha, reader, suck it. You want it to be happy, fuck you.
Yeah. And there's definitely a place for that as well. Like I always kind of like to keep people on their toes. I don't always like to have like a nice, tidy, happy ending. I kind of want people to go into one of my books and say, I'm not sure how this is going to end. This could end in tragedy. This could end in revenge. This could just end. And I'm not sure. So I never want them to go into it thinking like, I know how it's going to end from page one. I just want it to always be a surprise and obviously entertaining.
That was one of the most beautiful things about Left to You, because not only is it an incredibly emotional journey, even though you have an idea and you have a sense of what's going on as you're moving through the history of this man's relationship with this being. But when you get to the end, you're like, what? So it takes that great, wonderful twist, and it really leaves you, it pulls you in through the duration of the entire story, because you think but you don't. You really don't. And that is an example of a very well-written book.
Thank you.
We were just talking in the intro, it's the new Stolen Tongues. Last year, before Facebook group, everything was stolen tongues. In a matter of like 30 days, all of a sudden, somebody was like, hey, and we all started like posting our reviews on Left to You, and people just picked it up, and now they're all like, this book's amazing, this book's incredible, like, you must be feeling like $1 million right now.
Yeah, it's been really amazing, the reception for that, because I think that book has a wider reader value. My other stuff, as much as I love Talia and Waking in Blood and Billy Silver and So Sorry, like those are very niche kind of books. Like not everybody is going to read them and they're not going to like it. And I've gotten some reviews especially on Goodreads, and people they don't like it, and rightfully so. Those books are fucking gross. There's some really bad shit in those books. But Left to You, I wrote.
it.
I wrote Left to You, and in the opening, I dedicated to my mother because she won't read any of my other books. She's like, they're gross. I don't want to read it. And I tell her, I'm like, don't read the other ones. My father reads it, but my mother, I'm like, don't read the other ones. So when I wrote this book, I had her in mind, and I'm like, I want to be able to appeal to that everyday kind of horror reader that's still looking for something a little more violent, but with a deep sense of story and an emotional connection to the characters. And that's how it was born, pretty much.
Oh, well, it works out beautifully.
Yeah. You can thank my mother for it.
Well, it's funny. That's becoming a theme of this episode because
Right.
before you joined us, Christina and I were both talking about how her mother won't listen to this podcast because of our content. And I told my mother she's not allowed to listen to this podcast because of the content. I just think it's so funny that
It is. It's
as
the
far as
mothers.
all of our parental units go, like
Yeah.
the mothers are like, no thanks, honey. I'm still
Yeah.
proud of you.
Yeah.
My mom, my mom tried listening to like the very first episode. She's like, I think you both sound very nice, but that's very dirty stuff. And I was like, Mom, what do you think I read? Nicholas Sparks like your son? No, I read the other stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I can just hear your mom now. Daniel,
Yeah.
you just read a nice book.
what am I supposed to tell my
Yeah.
knitting friends?
A nice romance.
Yeah. She's known since I was younger. She's read some of my stuff when I was a kid, and she knows. None of it surprises her. She just wants no part of it. So
She's like, I birthed this. Let someone else deal with it.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my wife for that. She deals with me.
Yeah, that's a good mom.
Oh yeah.
My mom's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna not tell people what you're doing. We don't have the same last name, so yeah. I'm very proud of you, baby, but no, mom is not gonna tell people,
Yeah.
kind of
I'm
deal.
also very embarrassed.
Right?
Yes.
You cuss, Christina. Did I fucking teach you that way? Yes, you did. So like, this is all her fault.
Christina, I have dominated with all of my questions. Do you have any questions?
I
for this
do.
nice man?
For this gentleman here.
Yes. Where?
So I
Emotional criminal.
Yes, the FBI will be showing up. I am a fan of short stories. I like short stories, and you are like just whipping them out right now. With last year with Gorefest and Baker's Dozen, Behind a Spider's Eyes, Welcome to Splatter Club Volume 2, and then I found something on Smashwords. I don't know if you know what's on Smashwords, but it's from
No idea.
2012, and it's called Bits and Bones.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it has, because I was listening to the Written and Read podcast last night, and you had talked about your first published short with Exile magazine, I believe, Exiles. Yep. And I found it on there. I found Lost.
Yes.
On there. So my question is, do you find yourself gravitating more toward short stories like at the beginning, or do you typically stick with novellas?
So in the beginning, Bits of Bone, I'll just cover that real quick. So I wrote that collection was like a collection throughout the years of short stories. And I think some of them were good in their own way, but they were poorly written and they weren't edited. So I had them up on Amazon for a little while and I ended up pulling them down. I've actually thought about rewriting some of them. I really like some of those story premises and putting them back up, but I have so many projects right now. I'm not sure if I'll get to that. But when I did start out, I really had a hard time writing long horror fiction, which is why I kind of gravitated towards the fantasy stuff, because that stuff's easy to write long. You've got different races, religions, countries, magic, the whole nine. But horror for me, I always kind of liked it short and sweet with, a bloody ending. So I stuck to short stories. And then when I started thinking of Billy Silver, I started making notes and a rough outline. And as I started outlining things, I found it easier for me to go longer. And I find my comfort zone right now is that 40,000 word mark. I left to use my longest and probably will be my longest for a while. But that 40,000, 35, 40,000 words is, to me, it's a perfect length as a reader and a writer. It gives you just enough for if you're, you could probably sit down and knock out one of my books in a day. If you're a decently fast reader, if not a day or two. And it's still, it's not, if you don't like it, you only spend a day on it and you're done with it. If you do like it, there's more to come. And that novella length, I think, is my sweet spot right now. So that's what my next probably 3 books are going to be, around that same range, 40K. I get right in there, and that's pretty much where the stories end.
Well, I think also the novella length is very, very popular among readers as well right now. Especially those of us who do live very, very busy lives. It can be difficult and tedious to get through a full-length novel as quickly as we would like.
Yeah.
Where novellas pack a hell of a punch with lots of good quality storytelling. That, like if Saturday afternoon's all I have, I know I can sit down and I can read Talia in 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So, and get the full experience from beginning to end. So it really is, it's what a lot of us are looking for and buying.
The other thing is with novellas that I found, this comes from like a kind of a business standpoint, is that most of us are self-published or indie published. So the way Amazon works, and most of these publishing companies, is you get charged by your content and your page count. So if I'm a newer author and I'm writing 100-something thousand word book, that costs me at Amazon's price $10 to get an author copy, I have to then turn around and sell it for $20-something to make any kind of profit.
Right.
And it's hard to ask people for that, to spend the extra money to get that big of a book. So that's why I kind of like, for fiscal reasons, people kind of like that. With the novellas are in that $9.99 to $12.99 range, generally speaking. The ebooks, same thing. They're $2.99 to $3.99 range for the most part, unless you're with a bigger publisher. Might be a little bit more money, but I think that it's right now for horror and extreme horror, it's the best medium that we have out there is that novella.
Absolutely. Especially
I'm a weirdo.
Platforms like Godless.
Yeah.
Which makes it so accessible and so affordable for so many of us who are pinching our panties.
Yeah.
Because
what do you like, Christina? You like bigger ones, door stoppers?
I am a short story type of gal, because I like that because to me, when I read, it's almost like I'm in front of a house and I get to open a door and I get to look around inside and then I get to close it. And then I get to move on to the next house. And that's very much how I feel when I'm reading a short story. Is I get all of these different things. Like I read Lost, and we talk about we told them that there would be spoilers at the beginning. So it's not like this is a surprise for them. This story affected me because my biggest fear is my child going missing.
Oh, please. No, I can't handle it.
So, and she's 5. My daughter is 5. I'm like, I shouldn't have fucking read this.
Yeah.
But this story, it's like a page and a half. And it is so fleshed out. The world is so vivid. He is so vivid that you would never guess that this is like one of your first stories ever. If you would have had me read this, I would have been like, okay, so you wrote it like yesterday. Cool. I would have had no idea. Now I will say I only read the first story, but it's pulled up on my laptop so I could read the rest of it. But if you guys are looking for this, literally just type in Bits and Bones, Daniel Volpe into your Google, and it pops up from Smashwords, and it's free. So pinch and pennies. There's your free Daniel Volpe that he never talks about, that you get to, join the ranks of a stalker.
I didn't even know that was on Smashwords. I've never even been on Smashwords, so I had no idea. But yeah, that one, hopefully.
Yeah, it even says like you're like you're the one that uploaded it and everything.
Maybe I did at some point, but I don't ever know if I've ever been on Smashwords. But whatever, you can go read them. They're probably
it's there.
They're probably riddled with typos and crap, but hopefully one day I'll clean them up. I think I have one in, I think it's in that one. The one I'd really like to experiment with is it's called My Beauties, and that's in there. And that has to deal with a pig farmer, and it gets pretty dark. And I think if I had to redo it, it's pretty long. It's like 30, 40 pages long. I think if I had to redo it, it would be a lot more fucking dark than it is as in its current state.
Right.
But
well,
So
right. So we're gonna need you to start writing a lot. Okay.
I had another one that I pulled down also called Scared of the Dark, and that was another short story collection. So if you Google or if you go on,
I tried. That one I did try.
that
because
one's
that
newer.
was on my
Actually,
list too, and I
put
couldn't
that
find it
one out.
anywhere.
I put that out last year, not 2020, I think. I put it out, and again, it was like a rookie move. I put it out. I did what I could with editing, and I never had it professionally done, so I didn't want people paying for it. So I was like, I'm just going to take it down and I'll screw with it. But that one has 2 novellas. It's probably like 60,000 words of stories, and 2 novellas in there. The title story, Scared of the Dark, and Scared of the Dark. Like my dad, when I wrote that and he read it, he was like legitimately mad at me for the opening scene. He like fucking smacked me. He's like, I can't believe you wrote this. So it's
my god.
Yeah.
And I even went past like the first 5 pages on Google results trying to find this because I found it somewhere. I don't even know. I have notes. That's why I have notes of everything.
Look, you're not doing yourself any favors telling us all this shit.
Yeah,
By
I
the
know.
time this whole thing's over, like I already have a pretty bulky list of demands that I during this whole thing. But you're not helping yourself here.
I will tell you this. I have intentions, because we were talking about before all the short stories like Gorefest and all that stuff. Some of those I've signed contracts for, obviously, and I can't re-release any of those stories anytime soon. But that should be up on pretty much all of them in the beginning of 2023. So I have plans to take all of those stories, combine them into one big nice collection, throw a couple freshies in there, and probably release a short story collection in the beginning of 2023. Because I think everybody kind of needs at least 1 or 2 short story collections, even though they're not my favorite, but people do enjoy them, and it's something good to get out there. And it's a good sample of your work that people can read. They could pick it up for a couple bucks and have at it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And then if somebody isn't prepared to go into something like Billy Silver or Talia,
yeah,
then they have your short stories. And I'm not after Lost, I was like, I think I need to go to bed.
Yeah,
because it's very like, I'm going to come back to this because this is going to live rent free in my fucking head for a while. I will not take my child to like a boardwalk. I will tell you that much.
Yeah.
But it is so scary. And it's not so much scary as in what happens at the end. It's more as a parent. You're like, you can hear her crying. You can feel that emotion, and all of that in 1.5 fucking pages, man. Like, I think you're selling yourself a touch short on that. Because, editing aside, I didn't even notice anything, and I'm pretty quick at picking little things up. But no, and just Smashwords, people. Go to smashwords.com.
Go. Maybe I'll re-release that.
That's where all the filth is.
Yeah.
But actually,
Simon McCarty.
There's definitely some filth in Scared of the Dark, which I did edit some of that out because I have a very racy werewolf story in that one that I kind of trimmed down because I thought my mother was going to read it, so I was like, I had to cut some of this out, but I might bring that back to its original form.
After the beginning of Scared of the Dark, you were like, I better tone this down or I'm going to get beat from both parents.
I know, yeah. My dad wasn't happy.
Mama can't handle no sexy werewolves.
Right.
Sexy werewolf.
Jacob werewolves.
Ew.
I can throw it.
Dare you bring Twilight into this room?
I just throwing that in.
There's only one vampire book we'll talk about.
Right?
And that's A Gift of Death. Which
this
I'm
one,
writing
you mean?
Yes, I'm actually about 13,000 words into the sequel right now, and it is going very, very well. Very well.
That is awesome.
So
having a lot of fun.
I'm going to take a moment to ask you guys to sell me on A Gift of Death. Not because
So-
I don't love the things you write, Daniel, but I am not a vampire person. So, but I
Yeah.
have heard that this book is amazing.
So-
tell me why.
Right.
I like vampires, but I'm not like I never read any Anne Rice. I've never read a single Anne Rice book. I'm trying to think of like Salem's Lot. I like that, and I'll Let the Right One In. You know, those are I like those. But I also kind of like the 30 Days of Night. Christina, you might want to just get your fucking steaks ready up in Alaska because
yeah.
Right.
like the
That
30
was
Days of Night
good.
vampires,
That was good.
they
I'll
to me
admit that.
vampires are predators. And in these romanticized books where they're like, oh, you know, they're all in love and it's all flowery
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I
No.
can't do that shit.
You know, I'm not a huge fan of that. And in my stories, there is a little bit because I need to have some characterization, some relationships, but they are monsters. Like they fucking kill people, they rip you apart, they will glamour you and to get you where they want you, and they will kill you and drink your blood, and that is it. And that is their sole existence. And they use anything and everything. So obviously, you know, I write a lot of sexual stuff. So in A Gift of Death, there's there's a decent amount of graphic sex in it. There's a lot of violence, and I didn't want to write a hokey vampire novel. I wanted to write a story about vampires where you're like, that's kind of fucked up. And that's a little scary. And not only that, but in A Gift of Death, there's 3 story arcs that combine, and you have 2 brothers that are essentially PIs that are vampire hunters, and they're fucking assholes and they're gross and they do some nasty things and they're hired for a job. And then you have Cameron, this young teenager, well, not young, he's 18 years old, and he is that kid that's bullied. His mother is a drunken prostitute that kind of, you know, sells herself to pay the rent and buy booze, and he has that kind of shitty life. So the book is more about characters as opposed to just vampires, and then they all meet at the end, and it's a very wild ending.
It is. It actually had my favorite quote of the year in it. And I'm going to get this wrong, so please correct me, but something to the effect of, he was a good judge of character. That's why he didn't have a mirror.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
I fucking loved that quote because it's very true. Like, you know, he can be a great judge of character, but he's a piece of shit. And so he can't look at himself in the mirror, you know, and that was my quote of 2021. Like, it was fantastic.
So I will say that in the ending of A Gift of Death, some people didn't like the end. They thought it ended abruptly and they wanted to see more. So I will tell you, everybody now, this could be the Mothers of Mayhem exclusive, that chapter 1 of Black Hearts and Red Teeth, which is the sequel. The first chapter is called A Gift of Death, and it picks up literally the scene that the first book ended on. So for all of you that are missing out on the ending and thought that, hey, it ended a little too soon, that chapter is like 3,500 words. So get your fucking rain boots on. It's just blood.
And can we talk about that title? Like, that title is fucking awesome. Black Hearts and Red Teeth. I love that.
I appreciate it. I had a really hard time thinking of a title, and sometimes titles will come to me immediately. Sometimes they're basic, like Billy Silver and Talia. Billy Silver I was actually going to change, but Talia was always Talia to me. Awaken in Blood didn't even have a title until it was completely edited and done and ready to be published. It was called The Lodge originally because I just needed something, and I actually wanted to call it Axe to the Face, and that title's already taken.
Look, I would buy
straight to the point.
Straight to the point. Fuck them.
You don't even have to tell me what the fucking book's about. You're like, it's called Axe to the Face, and I'm like, give it to me.
Yeah. Right.
So
pushing
as
little kids out of the way to get to it.
As I went through it, I was like, oh, you know what? Awaken in Blood really fits it. And then I actually came up with the titles for the 2 remaining books. That will eventually be a trilogy as well. So I'm going to have Arisen in Blood and Asleep in Blood will be the final 2 books in that. Who knows when they'll be done, but I will do a trilogy for that one. And the second one's going to be fucking just brutal.
Well, now
They're
I'm
all
gonna
gonna be
have
brutal.
read it, but I'm
Right.
caught up and ready. Axe to the face. I'm
And then,
I'm still in that moment. I'm just reveling in it.
That's like her fantasy like book title.
yeah.
So simple, yet so
Yeah.
beautiful. So elegant.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm about. Elegance.
It's for the fancy people with the pinky out, if I may.
Yes.
Yes.
Axe to the face.
That group.
My kind of people.
Yes.
So how did you guys with Written and Read podcast, how did that happen? How did you guys decide?
Let's get together.
Yeah,
Hang
let's
out.
do this thing and talk on camera.
So obviously the four of us are self-published, and obviously I'm with D&T now, but I still have self-publishing things I'm going to be doing. So we all kind of pick each other's brains about what works, what doesn't work, some failed things with money, failed things with editing, publishing. So we're like, man, we have not a lot of information, but we made some mistakes, and I made a lot of mistakes early on. I still make mistakes. I'm like, oh, that didn't fucking work. I'm the kid that touches the stove. That's always me. I'm like, I have to try it myself. Yep, that's hot. I need to go to the hospital. Just ask my poor mother, because I was in the ER a lot. And so Aaron and I start talking, and we're like, hey, we really like Roland's stuff as well, and Roland is self-published, so we're going to bring Roland in as well. And we were talking to Carver about it, and he was like, oh, I'd love to be a guest if you guys, have guest spots on there. So we kind of talked, and we're like, hey, why don't we just bring him in as well? Because he has a ton of publishing experience from, different genres, a lot of different things he's done. And so we kind of formed it up and, had a couple brainstorming sessions. We got the logo. We kind of figured out what we wanted. We hired an artist for that, sent that out to him, and we had it done. And Aaron is really he does all the behind the scenes stuff. So all the YouTube stuff, all the podcast stuff, because for those that don't know, he has another podcast, Evil Examined, which is excellent. If you like true crime stuff, he does a great show there with JP and his wife, Katie. And so Aaron is really good with the behind the scenes stuff. And once we got it going, we decided, hey, we want to put it on YouTube because you get a lot more just from seeing somebody's face, even through a screen. And it's fun. You guys can watch me fucking drink shitty beer and yell things at Carver. And you don't get that on Spotify, people. You got to go on YouTube.
I just did that the other night. I watched
Yelled
you
at Carver?
guys drink beer and abuse Carver Pike. And
I was going to say, did you just excuse Carver too?
How did you guys become friends? Was that just through like social media interactions, or did you meet at a convention? Like, how did this happen?
Literally, it was just social media stuff. Aaron and I ran in the same circles, and even Carver and Roland, same thing. And Roland, when he did, I think it was Payback as a Witch, he had audiobook codes, and I'm like, I'll give it a listen. I'm not gonna take your codes and not listen to it and fucking not cash them in, which people do, which is annoying. So I got the codes, I listened to his books, and I left him reviews. I messaged him and just said, hey man, I really enjoyed your stuff and I appreciate it. And he sent me another one, and we just kind of talked. And the same thing with Aaron, we'd see each other in posts, and our books started kind of getting associated with each other. Somebody would read, like, oh, I read Billy Silver and I read The Slob, and we'd be in the same posts together. So we'd have some kind of interaction. I think I reached out to him to buy a couple of books. I was like, hey, I'm interested in checking some of your stuff out if you have signed copies. And we just kind of went back and forth, and that was it. It was love at first sight. And now that's it.
The romance of the years.
It's beautiful. It was like fucking the scene in Titanic, but he's definitely Rose and I'm Jack. That's definite. I painted him in Atlantic City when we were together at the horror convention. So,
did you wear the fanny pack though?
Oh yeah. Okay, that was it. That was it though.
Okay, because that's what inquiring minds are wanting to know.
Yeah, fanny pack and socks. That was it.
Boom.
Ah!
That's another Mothers of Mayhem exclusive.
Yeah, the flamingo fanny pack
Bird.
hides it.
Are
So
you guys gonna all be tabled close to each other at AuthorCon in Virginia?
So when we
Ryan's,
put in
like,
for our
super stoked.
when we put in for the tables, you can request to be near other people, and you can put who you want to be next to. So the requests have been made. Hopefully, we'll be able to get it. I think it should work, but all four of us requested to be near each other. So I'm hoping we have it all
it's
in a row.
adorable. I don't
It
know
is. It's gonna be
why,
nice.
but it's really cute to me.
It's going to be adorable. We're going to make fucking blanket forts in the hotel room.
Oh,
So it's going to be
That's
great.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm bringing Nerf guns.
I'm gonna be there. Can I help?
Marian will be there.
Yes.
And I
I've
will be
never
there in a
traveled anywhere
capacity.
by myself. I've never traveled anywhere by myself ever. This is the first time I'm going.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm really excited, and it's coming up quicker than people think. You know, it's
Yeah.
April 1st. So
81
That's my-
days.
oh, you know,
That's-
if you're counting.
I'm not.
That's my wedding anniversary, BT dubs.
Oh,
Is April Fools, because I knew what I was getting into. Wah, wah, wah.
yeah.
Hey, you guys had kind of alluded to the possibility in one of your written and read episodes that there could be a possible host anthology collection.
It was the first
Yes.
episode.
Yeah. So that is actually in the works. We were approached by a publisher, and this publisher was like, we would like the four of you to write whatever you want. They gave us carte blanche, like, do the fuck you want. We want 4 stories.
Oh, wow.
Word count doesn't matter. You guys come up with the theme. Have at it. This is what we'll pay you. Please do it. So my story's done. Aaron's story is done. Fucking Carver and Roland dragging their feet like always.
Lollygaggers.
Yeah.
Lollygaggers.
I am very
Damn it,
efficient.
Carver Pike.
Yeah, I am efficient.
Damn it, Roland.
So my story's done. Aaron's story's done. I just have to go through mine, clean it up a little bit. I might change a couple of things around, but yeah, they're going to be good. We have a very cool theme that we're not ready yet to release what it's going to be or who's publishing it, but it's going to be very limited. We know that it's not going to be like on Amazon. It's going to be,
Oh, wow.
there's going to be 200 copies or however many copies made, and that is it. It is a limited edition, one run. Get it while it's hot. So,
Okay, so we have to beat Donna Latham. We got to
Yeah.
beat her.
physically, because she's going to get them all.
I will protect you from Donna at AuthorCon if you can guarantee a copy of this
Right.
anthology.
She is officially security
Yeah.
for books.
Bring a gun. Donna's sneaky. She'll be in the floor or something.
God, I love
And
her.
she is the sweetest. She's the
Oh my
sweetest. And
God.
she's such a huge, like, you know, we can say that we're huge fans because we are. Like, I know Marian owns your stuff. I own your stuff. Obviously, I'm a little bit of a fan. Just a little bit. But Donna really goes above and beyond and kind of sets that bar for fans
Yeah.
on how we should treat authors. And I think that that's amazing because I see her and I saw what she did with, like, you guys have your written and read podcast notebooks with your names on them. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, Donna, like making
Yeah.
the rest of us look like shit, you know?
For those of you who are not active members of our little, like, Facebook indie
Mhm.
horror community, this is a nice little time to give a mega shout out to Miss Donna Latham,
Mhm.
who is really like the mascot of
She is.
of Indie Extreme on Facebook.
Her, Karina.
She will be the first one to open the
Yes.
door to you and be like, yes, child, come in.
Mhm.
When I first started my TikTok account, she's really one of the people who dragged me in and was like, you have to meet all of these people. You need to be
Yeah.
part of this on Facebook. We need you. Everybody's going to love you. And sent me, she bought a book for me from you. That was the first book mail I ever received was from you and Donna. And
Yes.
it's like, she is, if you join Books of Horror on Facebook, if you join the Mothers of Mayhem
Mhm.
Facebook group, you will have an opportunity to interact with Donna Latham, who is also now an up-and-coming author herself, showing great talent and potential for some fantastic stuff in the future. So, yay, Donna Latham, we love you. I can't wait to meet you.
Donna is definitely a person that knows how to treat authors, but she knows how to treat everyone, because Donna sends Christmas cards to people. I can't tell you how many books Donna has bought from me for other people. Consistently, I'll be getting a message. I'm like, Donna, stop buying books for other people from me. Like constantly, she's like, oh, can you send one to this person? Can you send one to this person? And that's why when I got my first and only actually hardcover proof for Left to You, I was like, I have to give this to Donna. I want her to have this. And I signed it and I sent it out to her. She didn't know it. So it was a nice little surprise for her. And I was happy that, you know, I can give her a little bit of joy that what she does, you know, for everyone else. And she's great. You know, I can't say enough good things. And I did get to meet her in Jersey, and she's just a sweet person. She hung out with us. You know, we had some delicious breakfast at the hotel together. So she's a sweetheart, and can't wait to see her again. So it should be waiting for AuthorCon. It's gonna be crazy.
She sends me cards at every holiday, even Halloween. I got 2 Christmas cards. Like she's I just love her. I love her so much.
And she really, got to throw Karina in there too. Karina's really big.
Yeah.
But what's so interesting is, we read this, this graphic, disturbing stuff. And this is like the most giving, sweet, open community.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, some people get in trouble for posting certain things on Books of Horror.
Shut up.
Because people piss me off and I have to say something. Got in trouble yesterday for it.
Oh boy.
We have never been banned from Facebook ever for anything.
I haven't been banned, knock on wood, but I made a comment and the admin shut it down after my comment. Because I was a little snarky. It was a little snark.
Yeah.
I don't like negativity. I don't like negativity. I think negativity in the horror scene just adds to that idea of, well, horror fans are, and then fill in the blank.
Yeah.
So,
and it's, some people get themselves obviously in trouble, and they'll say things, or they'll start a post that is controversial just for the sake of doing it. And
I'm not saying that that's what happened yesterday, but it did.
But I also see people that are authors doing that, and I don't think that is in my humble opinion, I don't think that's wise for authors to post things that could be, could cause some strife amongst people. Like my goal, my job is to entertain people. You don't need to know about what my politics, my views, my opinions. My goal is I'm going to write books that are scary and gross, and hopefully you will enjoy them. And that is pretty much it.
Or I'm going to kill your heart.
Or I'm going to kill your heart.
Well, you're fucking winning at that game.
Yeah. Jackpot.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Winner.
Chicken dinner. All right, my dudes, we're going to take a quick break because it is time for the ad zone, bitches. We'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, bye.
Hey kids, looking for a way to affordably access the best and wildest independent extreme horror currently in existence? Godless Horrors is the place to be. Go to www.godless.com to gain access to thousands of extreme horror and splatterpunk books from the genre's best and brightest independent authors. Godless Horrors offers every title in their catalog in a variety of formats to ensure compatibility with your favorite digital reading device. Strapped for cash? No worries. Godless has a fantastic collection of free titles ready for instant download, with other titles in their collection rarely exceeding $3 to $4. Again, go to www.godless.com or download the app and tell them what the fuck you're looking for. Come join the Godless tribe today. Forever delightfully deviant, forever godless.
Well, hey, we're back.
Woohoo!
Daniel
Yes.
Volpe. The time has come for you to face the rapid fire 4.
Bum, bum, bum,
Uh-oh.
bum.
Tell them what it's all about, Christina.
It's 4 questions, 4 answers, 0 time to think about it. We need an immediate answer, or
You will face da-da-da-dun, art and death.
Oh no, not certain death.
I have
Right.
made that labyrinth joke / reference 3 times now, and
Mm.
you're the only person to give me a decent reaction. So thank you. Thank
Right.
you
You're welcome.
very much.
I aim to please.
Oh, hallelujah.
first
All right.
question,
Here we go.
Mr. Volpe.
Go.
Which of your characters do you identify with the most, and why?
Oh my god. And identify. Probably, I'll say Shane from Awaken in Blood. I've never really had like an adulterous relationship, but he seems like out of all my characters, like kind of the most semi-level headed. All the other ones are kind of pretty shitty. And he does some pretty shitty things in that book too. But I'll say him.
Awesome.
Question number 2. So, for our listeners, so you're aware, Mr. Volpe lives in New Jersey. Question
No, I live
number
in New
2.
York. But go ahead.
You live in New York? I thought you were in Jersey.
No, you could ask me a Jersey related question now.
Do you hunt in Jersey?
Do I hunt in Jersey? No.
Oh, well, fuck.
Go ahead.
Well, then question number 2 is, why are you like this?
I don't know.
I was gonna ask you if you've ever seen the Jersey Devil, but you can't help me.
No, I cannot help you.
Ah,
I'm like this from well water that maybe was contaminated. I don't know. It's probably about it. Drinking river water when I was a kid.
out of the hose.
Yeah, hose water. Maybe too much football. All that stuff falling out of trees. Undiagnosed TBIs.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, they sting you.
They always have some quality effects.
Yeah.
That was a very good answer. Well done.
Thank you.
Number 3, good sir,
Go ahead.
is what is your favorite story you've written?
Short story or a book or anything?
Doesn't matter. Whatever is your favorite.
I think probably Talia. I loved it. I flew through that. I wrote it quickly. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process. I like the characters. I think it was just I think it's probably my most popular book, even though Left to You is really creeping up on it. But I think Talia was probably my favorite one so far.
And last but not least, Miss Marian.
If you could co-author with anyone living or dead, who would it be?
That's easy. Edward Lee. Definitely.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. I love Ed Lee. He's got great stuff. One of my him and Stephen King are probably my 2 biggest inspirations for writing, especially the stuff that I write. Definitely Edward Lee for the extreme stuff, without a doubt. I've had email conversations with him. The guy's nothing but a gentleman. He's helpful.
Nice.
Very nice guy, talented author. People know him for his extreme and all that nasty stuff he writes, but he has some nonfiction stuff. He has some science fiction stuff, some other mainstream kind of stuff. He just has a very wide range. And, one day when I get my weight up a little bit, maybe I'll be able to reach out and do something with him, but I would love to write with Ed Lee.
That would be pretty remarkable. I
Mhm.
don't know if you've had a chance to read Madness Heart Press the Czech Extreme anthology.
No, haven't yet.
It's nice, solid anthology. Some are
Mhm.
stronger than others, but his new story, the short story of Latava Clay, is holy shit.
It's definitely very Edward Lee.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's absolutely fucking hilarious. It's fantastic. I'm curious to know what your first Edward Lee book was.
Pig in the House. Pig in the House were the first two that I read by him, and they are really, really fucked up. If you've never read them, I think I got them. I think I actually got them early days in like Kindle when they were ebooks, and definitely like the opening line of the pig is one of his like most iconic opening lines. So it's definitely set the tone for what I was getting myself into, without a doubt.
I need to obtain a lot more Edward Lee because I am behind on that. I feel like I'm just starting to get into
See,
it.
I read Edward Lee, oh my God, about 10 years ago for the first time, and I read Brain Cheese Buffet.
Yeah.
And I got to the booger story and I was like, what am I doing with my life? And I'm pretty sure I put it down because I was like, I'm not about this just yet. And then I had to grow as a person, literally. And, but yeah, that was my first experience with him was Brain Cheese Buffet. And I was like, I told all my friends, I was like, guys, you got to read this. It's going to make you throw up.
Yeah, it made me sick. You should try it too.
Right.
The Dryphilis. I think
Yes.
that's one of his all-time most classic. It's just disgusting. Oh, cripes.
And then here comes RJ Benetti,
That kid done picked his goddamn brains out.
Right.
Daniel, thank you so much for putting up with us today.
My pleasure.
I think it is important for you to know that Christina and I are very, very grateful for you being
Mhm.
willing to do this. We are both of the opinion, having watched your almost like meteoric
Absolutely.
rise over the last 4 months, feeling blessed to have known you on this level, that
Mhm.
we've kind of put you into this classification of authors that we see kind of vaulting into mainstream horror soon.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
The mainstream community and getting picked up by some of the bigger public publishing houses. So
Mhm.
we are grateful to have been able to have you here. Don't forget us.
Right. Don't you go blocking us.
Right.
Yeah.
But
just-
we really, just based on the quality of your writing and the amazing books that you've already put out, the reception that Left to You has had,
Mhm.
I fully expect that one probably to be the winner of the Splatterpunk Awards this year for best novel, because it really is just brilliant. So
Mhm.
good job, nerd.
Yeah. Job heart murderer.
I appreciate it. When I heard you guys were doing this show, I was like, I have to try to get on. I didn't know, I figured people would be wanting to get on. So I was like, I have to try to get on early. I want to get on with them. I've talked to both of you before today, and you guys are some of my favorite people to talk with, and obviously very supportive. And I mean, Christina has me ship things to fucking ends of the earth for her and stuff, special order things. And so,
I like special shit. I don't like
yes.
what everybody else has.
Yes. And I do it because,
Yeah.
you guys are great. And I appreciate all the readers. I appreciate all the interaction. Most people will thank me for just commenting on their stuff, which is,
Mhm.
it's very weird because I'm just some fucking scrub that lives in New York that makes up stories, and people pay me money for it, which is still weird to me. And that's when they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you answered. I'm like, I'm a nobody. I get up and I go to work and I sit down some days and I write things, and that's it. There's nothing better, nothing worse. That's who I am. And I enjoy doing it. I'd be doing it if nobody read it. So it's great that people do. And like I said, I appreciate you guys having me, and I had a great time.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so funny that you say that because you're not the first author who I've spoken to is like, I'm a nobody. I'm just this person who likes to write these weird books. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, to us, the readers, those of us who have decided, like, people like Christina and myself have become as involved as we have in this whole thing because what you're putting out there brings us such joy and happiness, and it adds this whole another level of community camaraderie, and just joy to our lives. So you guys are like, oh, I'm nobody, but to us, you are very much somebody. And I'm starting to experience that myself with the whole TikTok thing, even though I am still like small change compared to other people, like our friend Sonia.
Oh yeah,
huge,
sweetheart.
And yet still has time for somebody like me, and actually gives a lot of her time to somebody like me. So it's just yeah, you think you're nobody, but you're very much somebody.
It's not even only that. Yeah, I think it's the idea of, with mainstream authors, you don't have that confidence to reach out. You don't have that confidence to tag an author, but we can tag you or so many others. And you guys not only comment on our stuff, but some of you guys share our reviews and what we say and, things like that. And I think that as a reader, especially as, I do written reviews, Marian does other, the TikTok reviews. So, even me, like, I fangirl. Like, when you said you were coming on here, I was like, I'm going to throw the fuck up. Like, I'm throwing up. Congratulations. You made me throw up. And and you do, because especially as a reader, we're like, we're never going to get to meet these people. Like, and then for people to actually want to come on here and to talk with us, like, that's just insane. So I get
also the beauty of the indie horror community is that you all allow yourselves to be so accessible. You're all so kind. Even some of the people who are a little bit more like standoffish have just been so nice to me, and I know have been so nice to many others. So it's just part of the beauty of this whole tribe that's developed.
Yeah, absolutely. Indie horror is a community, and I think we kind of see that, the evolution of it, and that we do have like one group. You have your writers, your readers, your reviewers, and we're all one kind of happy family for the most part. And yes, and some authors, not a lot, but a good portion are, they're kind of introverted and they don't want to talk to people. And it's not because they're mean or anything. That's just not who they are. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'll talk to whoever the hell wants to talk to me. Like I'll stand on the street corner with a Rolling Rock doozy in my hand, and I'll talk to people all day. That doesn't bother me. But I don't mind talking. So, and if people want to listen, I'll talk to them blue in the face.
Well, if you guys at Written and Read would ever like to join forces and have a little chatty chat with two weird book moms,
I would throw up. All four of you, I would just pass out. I would be on so much fucking Xanax.
We're gonna call it written on mom.
Yeah.
Written in mom, and then get everybody involved.
That would be beautiful.
Well, maybe when we're at the convention, maybe we can have a little mini crossover or something. We're probably gonna be drunk, but
hey, that's all right.
You're lucky I'm not so Xanaxed out right now, like, that I'm drooling on myself. So Daniel, where can people find you?
Yes.
So I'm on all the major social media. Facebook is my primary one. I use that mostly. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on TikTok. Email DanielJVolpeHorror@gmail.com, and Written Read. Check out the Written Read podcast. We have an email there as well. Same thing. It's Written and Read podcast@gmail.com. You could send us questions for the show. You can tell us that we're fucking scumbags. Whatever you want to do, send it to us. We love it all. And the other thing I want to tell everyone is that Roland doesn't have enough weirdos following him on Facebook. So if you're watching this and you're a fucking weirdo, please follow Roland Bursey Jr. on all major social media and send him weird things in the messages. He does not have it. He doesn't get it. And I think he's a little jealous that some of us get weird fucking messages from people at all hours of the night. So please spam Roland Bursey Jr. with weirdo messages.
I feel like we should make it a contest.
He's gonna hate me, but
Whoever can weird out Roland Bursey Jr. the most gets to co-host on an episode of Mom for like 15 minutes. with guest Roland Bursey Jr.
He's like, I'm not doing any of this.
He's gonna hate me, but whatever.
He's gonna block all of us.
Oh my God.
I know.
I'm
He
gonna
just-
send him so much weird shit. I am not even fucking kidding.
He just- he
I've been
looks
waiting my whole
like-
life for this.
He looks and acts like a hug. He seems like the sweetest fucking person
He's so nice.
on the face of the planet. Like, he is. He looks and sounds and acts like a human hug. There you go, Roland. I'm so sorry, friend. Oh, also, you forgot something where people can find you, Daniel, like shitfist.com.
Oh yeah, Drew Steppick made that website when Billy Silver first came out, and I don't even know what's on it anymore.
I do. I looked at it.
Yeah.
It's shitfist.com, friends, and it's just all about Daniel and his books. Yeah, I found it yesterday.
Yeah, Drew got a domain name because when Billy Silver first came out, he's like, I love that fucking name. I'm getting a domain name. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on right now. That I don't know what the internet is. He's like, I'm getting a domain name for that. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So yeah, shitfist.com is out there.
It is. I don't know how I came across it last night, but I do research with every guest, and I saw that and I was like, I'm going to bring this one up just because I like saying it. I like saying it. So I'm like, shitfist.com. Go check out Daniel.
It's a catchy fucking band name.
It is. You better trademark that shit.
I know. I'm gonna make t-shirts.
Hell
Shitty
yeah.
fist.
I can help you.
Right? I saw shitfist.
Yeah.
Well, for information on Daniel's full bibliography, please refer to today's show notes. Or you can come join us on the Mothers of Mayhem official Facebook group. We do have a merch store now. So when I say I can help with them shitfist t-shirts, I ain't lying. The link for the merch store can be found on either my personal link tree or through our pinned posts on our FB group. Any revenue we earn automatically goes back to improving the quality of what we are trying to bring you every other week. While our standard episodes are currently scheduled to launch bi-weekly, we will soon start dropping bonus episodes that we are calling Intimate Conversations with Mom. These episodes will feature either Christina or myself engaging in a variety of interviews, panel discussions with authors, publishers, reviewers, and readers from within the booming indie horror community. So keep an eye on our various social media platforms for upcoming announcements, as well as open calls for potential guest opportunities. You can find the links to our various social media accounts in our show bio. As always, you can send your questions, comments, and most certainly all of your insults to our email address, momextremepodcast@gmail.com. That is m.o.m, extremepodcast. Do not forget to send dildos to Christina and DM me if you need her mailing address. I will help you out. And as
I'm just gonna throw them in the Dependas yards, so it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna open the box.
I'm gonna say
Can
they
I-
probably use them.
Can I send a fist instead of a dildo?
Oh, please.
Okay.
That would be so much fun. Beat my husband
Make
with it.
Sure that it has quote unquote shit on it.
Please don't.
That way, Christina has her very own shit fist.
Anything that comes that I have not ordered from Amazon, or I'm just going to automatically give to the moose. They can have it. Here you go, mooses.
That's like 1,000 pounds of meat right there. As
It really is.
always, we want to give a huge thank you to singer-songwriter Amigo the Devil. Like, what the hell? This man was so supportive, allowed us to use his song Hungover in Jonestown as our theme. If you are a fan of extreme horror and haven't listened to Amigo the Devil, I honestly do not know what the fuck you are doing with your life. Jesus Christ. Mama C, who do we have coming to hang out with us next time?
We have the gentleman, the scholar, Ash Ericmore,
Smash
On
ass
the
face
next-
Erics!
on the next one. And we will be chit-chatting about the 1,000,001 books that this man has written in the past year. Like, what is he doing?
Yeah, like what the fuck? How did he write? He drops like a book a week. I can't
He really does.
handle
I think
this
he had
anymore.
I think in 2021, he had over 15 books.
Jesus Christ, he needs to fucking stop.
Yeah, because I try to do research and read as much as I possibly can before we have guests on. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna fucking try with this one. I'm just gonna go in blind. Why not?
You hear that, smash ass? Knock
That's
it
what she's
off.
named him. That's what she's named him.
It's a very endearing name.
It is. It comes from the heart. It comes from the heart.
It sounds like it comes from the ass.
Right? There's just a whole lot of poop talk today.
You're
Yeah.
my filthy heart murderer.
Yeah,
Eric
fecal
Moore.
Fridays.
Eric Moore is smash ass face Eric's. I do this because I love you.
Yes.
I love you guys so much. All right. We're going to release Daniel Volpe from this
Into the wilds.
torment
Yes.
that we've had him in for the last 2 hours. So until next time, go raise some hell, children.
Make your book mommies proud.
We love you. Bye. Say goodbye, Daniel.
Goodbye, Daniel.
I love you so much.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're the best.
Life is a joke, and death is the punchline. Oh, la 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 la.